Hi, I'm Rachel Lattner with Shelby Cars and Coffee, and today I'm here with John Brassner, and we're going to be talking about his 1965 Chevy Corvair. So John, thank you so much for spending some time with us. How did you acquire this vehicle?
It was in someone's backyard in Henderson. It was a wreck, wasn't running, got a tow truck to get it home, and what you see here is the result of that.
That's really incredible. What kind of modifications and upgrades have you done to this vehicle?
I've tried to keep it somewhat stock, or at least so it's reversible, so if the next owner wants to make it completely stock, they can. But what we've done is it was completely a rust bucket, needed to be rebuilt completely. So haven't done a lot of mods to it as far as performance goes. I did rebuild the engine very recently, but the whole car has been redone to see as the way you see it today.
And what kind of engine does it have?
So the Corvair engine is kind of unique. It's one of the only air-cooled engines ever produced for an American car. It's a flat type or boxer type of engine, and again it's air-cooled, which is unique among American cars.
I noticed that you have the engine in the back, and then in the front you have something fun, which I wanted you to go into a little bit more detail about.
Yeah, because the engine's in the back and I open up the front hood, people go, "Where's the engine?" So I got tired of that and I put a hamster in there, a fake hamster. PETA, don't get mad at me, it's really not real. And I named him Ellis. So the little joke there among the hot rod community is I have an LS swap engine in my Corvair.
And then in terms of the interior, what's the interior like and how did you upgrade that?
So the interior is also stock. I changed the color, it was a light blue. I've done a black reproduction vinyl, which is made by a great company in back east called Clark's Corvair. I did that all myself. One of the most difficult things I did on the car was actually doing the upholstery.
I noticed you also have the hubcaps onto the car, which make it look very original in a lot of ways. What did you do to the wheels?
So these wheels are just stamped kind of 14-inch stock wheels. The Corvair came with 13, a lot of people upgrade to 14, but I put on these kind of moon chrome hubcaps to make it look period correct, and I think it looks terrific in a way that didn't cost me a lot of money.
What about the exterior? What did you do with the paint and also the graphics of this vehicle?
So I had to do a lot of body work to the car. Again, it had some rust on it. So we've got the body pretty straight. The exterior is just a red color that I chose off the internet. It's not a Chevy color. And then I added vinyl graphics to it to make it look a little bit sporty. Nothing wild on that other than it's red. Everyone likes red on a sports car.
What did Ralph Nader have to do with the suspension?
So Ralph Nader came out with a book of which one chapter was about the Corvair, and it did not paint it in a good light, and it turned out that his portrayal of the Corvair was probably incorrect, that it easily flipped. Turned out to not be the case. In any case, this particular Corvair, the 1965, is a newer model. It has a suspension very similar to a Corvette, so it actually handles quite nice.
Can you tell me more about the stats of this engine?
So this particular engine is 110 horsepower, 164 cubic inch. Again, it's a flat six. There were other models, so this one's not going to win any races, but there were all the way up to 180 horsepower, depending on which trim level and which options you owned, you opted for with the car. Again, it's a flat six, which is unique. It's air-cooled, which is unique. It also has a very unique kind of fan belt, drive belt, and I think we'll see that a little bit later.
From what I understand, you did most of the work yourself, which is pretty incredible. Do you have any plans for the future?
On this particular car, I think I'm going to keep it. I kind of stumbled into this Corvair. I wanted to get my hands dirty again. This was a very inexpensive car that was a wreck, so I said, let me buy it and fix it up. This one I'm going to keep. I did do all the work myself, even painted it myself. Upholstery, rebuilt the engine. So I think with all that investment in it, I'm going to keep it and drive it around and terrorize the neighborhood over here.
Well, John, thank you so much for your time to explain about your 65 Corvair. I love the car. It's absolutely beautiful. Do you mind if we take it out for a drive?
Absolutely. Let's go for a spin.
Awesome.
is no longer a stock radio, but we've got these fold-out modern radio here, which allows me to have navigation and things like that. Radio, of course. And then for the shows, we can just tuck that back in.
So you remodeled this whole car, brought it back to life, painted it all yourself. How did you know what to do?
Well, you know, I think like a lot of people who've got classic cars, when they go to sleep at night, they dream about, hey, what color I'm going to make it, what am I going to do to it? So a lot of it just kind of comes from the creative process of just thinking about what will look good on the Corvair. That's how I came up with this paint scheme. Again, everything's kind of reversible back to stock, but originally this interior was blue. I kind of like the red and black for a little bit more sporty feel.
Did you have a Corvair growing up, or what?
But it's funny, I did not. Again, I found this car I think it was on Craigslist. Like, you know, that sounds like an interesting project. But my mom, when I was a youngster, actually had a Corvair. Unfortunately, I was too young to remember what color it was or which trim model it was. But it is kind of nice to have a little bit of a tribute to my mom as well, driving this.
Yeah. Are there other cars that you really enjoy?
Before this, I had a 1946 Jeep Willys. That was a really fun car. It was all open. We never had the top up on it. It only drove about 45 miles an hour, so we can never go on the freeway with it. So this car is much more practical, and that we can roll up the windows if we need to, and it's a little bit more quiet. And freeways are no problem with this one.
Yeah. Did you look up everything in terms of how to paint a car on YouTube, or how did you learn what to do?
So it's actually probably the third car I've ever built and painted. So just, you know, it's kind of practice. When it comes to Corvairs, there's a great support group on Facebook. A lot of people, a lot of experts there, so if you have any questions, you can ask there. Of course, YouTube is always a great resource for rebuilding the engine or looking how things go together. Corvair is a pretty simple car, however, so it's not like a Ferrari where you need an advanced degree to figure out how to work on it.
How fast have you gotten this vehicle to go to?
I cannot say on camera. I don't really race it. It'll easily do freeway speeds, no problem. I'm sure it'll go over 100. I haven't done so. I just like cruising it around. I don't like the attention of the authorities. So for me, it's just a fun little cruiser.
Was there any kind of hiccups along the way or steps that were a little bit more challenging in rebuilding this car?
Well, because it was so old, pretty much every time I fixed something, it led to me having to fix something else. And then very recently, I had the camshaft kind of go out on it, and so I decided to rebuild the engine. In fact, as we're driving here, we've only have about 40 miles on this rebuild. Let's hope we make it there and back. Well, I'll tell you one thing that's fun, both when I bring this to Cars and Coffee or if I'm driving it, people will stop me and they'll always say, oh, my uncle had one of those, or my grandpa had one of those, or, you know, we used to race those back in high school. So it brings back a lot of memories to people. What's also fun is to the younger people who've never heard about a Corvair, they really kind of freak out when they see the engines in the back. They kind of only think of a VW Bug, you know, or a Porsche has the engine in the back. So when they see there's an American car like that, it really astounds them.
What do people say about the little Ellis in the front?
So little hamster always gets a smile. Of course, one of the first questions they ask is that real? I don't know how they think it's real, but that is the first question they ask. And again, it's just a little icebreaker. You know, people, when I pop the hood, they go, where's the engine? And so now I have that Ellis swap. That's the hamster's name is Ellis. And it brings a smile to people's faces. Kids love it too.
I'm sure. And I'm sure it starts a conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. did everything myself. What's also interesting is I don't have a garage at my house, so most of the work was done under a Harbor Freight tent.
Wow.
Working on this in the summers is no fun. That's why a lot of work is done at night and in the springtime or in the winter when things are a little bit cooler.
It does seem like you made some pretty, really just like incredible progress for the short amount of time that you've had this.
Yeah, I'm a little bit impatient, so to be honest with you, it's not the most perfect restoration, and I'm fine with that. And one reason why I actually like that is I don't mind if kids touch it, get their fingerprints all over the car. For me, it's just fun to interact with the public, and for younger people to see a car they may have not seen before. So I did do the restoration kind of quick. It's done well. The car is safe, but it's not going to win any concourse awards at a car show.
It looks like it's done very well.
Thank you.
It makes sense that if you have to do it out in the sun, you only have a particular season to do it, so you want to make sure you get it done as much as you can during that time at night.
And I want to show it and drive it.
Yeah.
A really quality restoration might take 2 or 3 years to do. That's 2 or 3 years of not having fun. I don't think I want to wait that long.
When you purchased this vehicle, it was in really bad shape. I saw the pictures, and it's really incredible.
Come a long way.
Yeah. So was there ever a point where you were like, I don't know if this is going to work out, or what am I going to do with this thing?
There are several points where, again, when you're working on it and you think you fixed something and you go for a drive and you realize you got to fix something else. So that gets a little frustrating. Or you're going to go for a drive and suddenly it doesn't start. I think I've got most of the bugs worked out with it now, so for me it's just going to be driving it and enjoying it.
Was this the biggest restoration that you did?
This was the most extensive restoration I've done because of the condition it was in. Yeah.
This is Rachel Lattner with Shelby Cars and Coffee, and we'll see you out on the road.
Hello, my name is Mary Bolton and I live here in Henderson, Nevada, and I want to introduce you to my two puppies. This is Bailey and Taffy. Bailey is a soft-coated Wheaten Terrier mix and Taffy is a Bichon. I received Taffy and Bailey from a very nice lady who had suffered a broken leg and couldn't take care of them anymore. Just before I received Bailey and Taffy, I lost my Cavalier, Rosie, to kidney failure, and my little Westie, Lily, to a severe allergic reaction. I am so thankful for Taffy and Bailey. They really fill the void created by the loss of Lily and Rosie. Taffy and Bailey are approximately 9.5 years old, and I have had them for about 2 years. Earlier in Bailey's life, before his previous owner, Bailey was mistreated. He was thrown out of a truck onto a parking lot, and as a consequence, he has seizures. He's medicated for this and is very jumpy at any loud noise or movement. I could never understand why anyone would mistreat an animal. Taffy and Bailey are a pure joy to have around the house. They have an even temperament and they are very well behaved. Bailey and Taffy offer unconditional love not only to our family but to each other. Bailey shows affection by cleaning Taffy's face and ears. I don't know if Taffy likes this, but she tolerates it. Where one goes, the other surely follows, and if I have to take one to the vet, the other waits patiently at the door for his or her return. If I go to the bedroom, bathroom, or kitchen, they both follow me. I believe they would follow me into the shower if they could. That's all, folks. My husband and I bowl twice a week. They'll see us off at the door and be waiting for us when we come home. Bailey and Taffy, like most dogs, like to sleep on the couch. And during the summer months, they find a cool place on the floor. They absolutely love to beg for dog bones, which I keep in the garage. And then I watch as Bailey tries to steal Taffy's bone. Taffy sometimes pulls the reverse on Bailey and ends up eating his treat. However, I think Bailey lets his girlfriend have his treat occasionally. I am so thankful for the joy and companionship that Taffy and Bailey afford me. I have had dogs most of my life and consider them part of my family. Any pet brings joy to your life. They make you responsible, keep you active, and offer so much love in return. My son David takes an active part in their care as well and has promised to care for them if I am unable to. I would encourage any of you to visit your local animal shelter or rescue and consider adopting a pet. A little bit of work and a lot of love will enhance your life. Thank you.